They call it the Devil's Triangle, a stretch of ocean shrouded in legend. Flights and ships vanish as if into another world. The Bermuda Triangle is loosely defined as the sea between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Over the past century, dozens of vessels have been reported lost there. But do these disappearances defy explanation, or do they have mundane causes? For decades, the press and pop culture have fueled sensational stories. Yet agencies like the U.S. Navy and NOAA insist the triangle doesn't officially exist as anything more than an arbitrary region. Here, we navigate the tangled history, infamous cases, and scientific theories behind the Bermuda Triangle legend. The modern Bermuda Triangle myth dates only to the 1950s to 60s. In 1950, an AP newspaper article first highlighted strange losses in the Western Atlantic. A 1952 Fate magazine story by George the Mex sand painted a triangular area and listed vanished planes and ships, including the 1945 disappearance of Flight 19. The phrase Bermuda Triangle was coined by writer Vincent Gaddis in a 1964 Argosy magazine article. Gaddis identified a pattern of losses and framed the region as eerie and ominous. Over the next decade, authors like Charles Berlitz and Richard Weiner expanded the legend with stories of ghosts, time warps, and even Atlantis. Today, we know those early accounts were often exaggerated. Many claimed disappearances occurred outside the triangle or even never happened at all. But by then, the image of a haunted Devil's Triangle had taken hold in popular culture. Famous vanishings over the triangle's history, several high-profile incidents cemented its reputation. Here are a few of the most notable mysteries. USS Cyclops, 1918. A 542-foot U.S. Navy collier left Barbados for Baltimore with 309 crew. She vanished without a trace, no distress call, no debris, while fully loaded with manganese ore. Fuel capacity prevented far travel, so questions swirled. Even President Wilson lamented that only God and the sea know what happened to the great ship. In 1919, Navy Secretary Josephus Daniels wrote, "There has been no more baffling mystery in the annals of the Navy than Cyclops' disappearance." Two of Cyclops' sister ships, USS Proteus and Nereus, later vanished similarly, adding to the lore. Flight 19, 1945. 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers took off from Fort Lauderdale on December 5, 1945, for a training flight. Aboard were 14 crew, led by Lieutenant Charles Taylor. After completing their bombing run, trouble began. As they flew over the Bahamas, Lieutenant Taylor radioed, "Cannot see land. We seem to be off course." Confused, he asked, "What is your position?" When the tower replied, Taylor fell silent. Moments later, his voice returned. "We cannot be sure where we are. Repeat, cannot see land." Radio silence ensued for 10 minutes. Then a new voice reported, "We can't find west. Everything is wrong. Everything looks strange, even the ocean." After 20 more minutes, a trembling pilot finally radioed, "It looks like we are entering white water. We're completely lost." At that moment, all 5 Avengers were lost. 6 more men in a PBM rescue plane vanished when it was sent after them. Intensive searches found no wreckage or bodies. The official explanation was likely fuel exhaustion and ditching at night, but no one survived. These haunting last words, "completely lost," fueled the Triangle's legend. DC-3 airliner, 1948. On December 28, 1948, A commercial Douglas DC-3 flew from San Juan, Puerto Rico to Miami with 29 passengers and 3 crew. About 50 miles from Miami, Captain Robert Lindquist radioed for landing instructions and was met with nothing. The DC-3 simply disappeared. The radio was met with silence, and the plane was never seen again. No debris was found. This and similar post-war airliner losses were later cited as triangle mysteries. The Witchcraft Yacht, 1967. On a calm winter night, real estate developer Daniel Burak and his priest friend Father Horgan set out to view the Miami skyline on Burak's 23-foot cabin cruiser Witchcraft. Shortly after 10 p.m., Witchcraft radioed the Coast Guard. "We have a small problem, requesting a tow." 19 minutes later, the rescue boat arrived and found nothing. Witchcraft, its 2 occupants, and all gear had vanished with no debris in sight. The Witchcraft seemed to have disappeared altogether, without even a single scrap of debris left behind, notes researcher James Wachowski. In fact, the vessel never even received a tow line, suggesting foul play was later suspected, despite the eerily clean disappearance. Scientists and skeptics offer mundane explanations far from the supernatural. In fact, major agencies warn there is no mystery beyond ordinary risks. The U.S. Navy and Coast Guard stress that no official maps exist for the triangle, and their experience points to weather and human error. NOAA notes that the area is one of the most hurricane-prone regions on Earth, where sudden storms and the warm Gulf Stream can quickly swamp small craft. Reefs and shallow banks off the Bahamas have wrecked countless ships, 300-plus wrecks around Bermuda alone, long before modern navigation. Other natural theories include methane gas eruptions. Some scientists have hypothesized that pockets of methane hydrate on the seafloor could violently release gas, burps, that reduce water density and sink ships. While the media dubbed this oceanic flatulence, evidence is scant. There are methane seeps off the continental shelf, but no confirmed case of a ship sinking this way. Notably, National Geographic reports some researchers say methane bubbling could explain sudden loss of ships, but also that disappearances occur as often as they vanish from anywhere else. Rogue waves. The Atlantic has been known to produce massive rogue waves up to 100 feet high. A sudden rogue wave could sweep the deck of a small craft. However, large naval ships like Cyclops would likely survive such a wave, and no storm evidence has emerged for many triangle cases. Magnetic anomalies. The Bermuda area is one of few spots where magnetic compass deviation is complex. NOAA acknowledges there is evidence that a magnetic compass sometimes points towards true north as opposed to magnetic north. This could confuse pilots, but modern navigation, radio beacons, GPS, nullifies old compass quirks. Crucially, the Navy found the compasses in Flight 19 unlikely to have all failed simultaneously. Those Avengers actually flew by PBY Marshalls and ran out of fuel. In summary, environmental factors and human error explain most cases. Dense shipping lanes and air routes mean many accidents happen there, just as they do anywhere busy. NOAA flatly states, there is no evidence that mysterious disappearances occur with any greater frequency in the Bermuda Triangle than in any other large, well-traveled area of the ocean. Despite scientific accounts, the Triangle has attracted wild speculation. Popular books and TV have suggested everything from lost civilizations to aliens. Atlantis, Charles Berlitz, author of The Bermuda Triangle 1974, promoted the idea that remnants of Atlantis beneath the waves interfered with ships, or that Atlanteans used advanced tech. Lost continent enthusiasts still invoke this. Time warps. Fringe writers propose time portals or hyperdimensional vortices, where vessels pop in and out of time. One legend, never substantiated, claims Flight 19 returned years later or ended up in a parallel universe. Underwater bases, secret tech. Other theories fantasize about a secret Nazi submarine base or a U.S. Project Portal testing teleportation, hiding mysterious wreckage. None of these claims are backed by solid evidence. UFO and Atlantis stories largely trace back to sensational books, not peer-reviewed science. In fact, Noel explicitly lists extraterrestrials, the lost continent of Atlantis, vortices to other dimensions, as whimsical explanations floated in pop media. Investigators like author Larry Kusha in the Bermuda Triangle mystery, Solved, 1975, found that many conspiracy tales arose from poor research. As Kusha wryly notes, no monstrous rogue waves, no electromagnetic fields, or UFO sightings ever haunted the Sargasso Sea. Just poor journalism and a complete and total lack of fact-checking. In short, the most outlandish ideas are considered debunked by historians and scientists. In local lore and culture, the Bermuda Triangle legend has even penetrated Caribbean folklore and local culture, though often through Western eyes. Sailors have long called the region names like Devil's Triangle or Hoodoo Sea. After decades of scrutiny, most experts agree the Bermuda Triangle's mysteries have mundane roots. Modern research shows that documented triangle incidents are almost entirely explainable by weather, equipment failure, or human error, with any mysterious-sounding details often exaggerated in retellings. The U.S. Navy famously said they have no mysterious explanations for disasters at sea in this region, and NOAA confirms no increase in disappearances compared to similar ocean areas. Nonetheless, the Bermuda Triangle endures as a cultural mythos because it taps into deep human fears. The lure of the unknown ocean, the romance of unexplained vanishing, and the dramatic idea that our world might hide secrets just beyond our grasp. While credible experts like NOAA, oceanographers, and aviation analysts debunk the superstitions, the image of ghostly planes and ships still captivates us. We close with a reminder. Disappearances at sea happen all over the world. But once a mystery is named, our imaginations fill in the gaps. In the case of the Bermuda Triangle, science has answered most questions. Yet the mystery lives on in our storytelling and in the silent depths of the Atlantic. Please like this video and subscribe my channel for more.